The topic is staffing. Staffing selection, staffing recruitment, selection, and training. So first we start with staffing. So the definition and purpose of staffing. No? So staffing is determining the number of people with the right skills for specific units in the organization. No? So ilan ba yung kailangan mong empleyado? Ilan bang kailangan mo accountant, no? To fulfill the task for the company, for journalizing, posting, making the trial balance, no? Preparing the financial statements, so and so forth. No? Ilan yung kailangan mong site engineers para makakompleto ka ng project. No? Yan. Getting the right applicants for the vacant job position. So let's say sa production, no, kailangan nila ng mga factory workers. No? Dapat yung factory workers na yun, he has the right qualifications. No? Kailangan tamang tao yung pinasok mo sa trabaho. Hindi yung basta-basta, may bakante, o sige, pasok ka na. No? Yan. And selecting the right candidate for the job. So, para hindi natin makalimutan, no? Ako hindi ako magaling sa memorization, so I do mnemonics. No? Segete, no? Which is maating version ng Sagada. Selecting, getting, and determining. No? So, the strategic nature of staffing. No? So, bakit ka ba nag-i-staffing? Bakit ka ba nag-ano ng mga tao? No? It is done to achieve the organization's mission, vision, overall direction, and strategies. No? Kailangan align sila. Nabanggit ko sa previous lesson, paulit-ulit yung keyword na yan, no? Alignment. So, dapat align sila. No? Pag hindi sila align, guhit lang. No? If the company has hired the right people to do the job, it can perform competitively in any environment. So, minsan, no, magaling ka, say, magna cum laude ka na or board top-notcher ka ng CPA, pero hindi ka pa rin nakukuha sa pinapasukan mong, ina-applyan mong company. No? Why? No? Siguro hindi ikaw yung right fit. No? Yun yung sinasabi nilang, no, sa atin ngayon, no, current generation, which is pinagtagpo ngunit hindi tinadhana. Maybe in the next few years, no? Baka. But right now, hindi ikaw yung tamang tao for the organization. So, sino may responsibility ng staffing? No? So, for this one, the department manager and the human resources department, no? Sila yung nag-uusap, no? Halimbawa, si accounting, no? Yung accounting manager, kakausapin niya si HR, oy, kailangan ko ng mga bagong graduate or kailangan ko ng mga file to help me, no? Mga fresh grads. No? So siya magsasabi ilan yung vacancy na kailangan. No? They meet to discuss how they are going to forecast the human resource needs for their respective departments. So lahat ng department heads, meron silang coordination with the HR. No? Hindi pwedeng magsasabi si HR na kailangan ko ng accountant pero wala naman sinabi si department manager. No? And hindi rin pwede magsabi si department manager na kailangan ko ng tao, hindi rin niya pinaalam kay HR. No? So kailangan, again, the keyword is meron silang agreement and alignment. No? So, the job analysis and its elements. No? So, tatlo yan. No? Job analysis muna. Pinakasimple lang definition. So, analysis. No? So, ibig sabihin pag analysis, depth. In-depth study, pinag-aralan mo muna ano ba yung dapat gawin doon sa trabaho na yan. No? And once you have that job analysis, doon mo lang malalaman yung job description and job specification. So, anong pinagkaiba ng description? Ay, nako. Ano ba naman itong mga to? Ayan, no? Job description, key responsibilities. Ano ba yung mga kailangan mong gawin, no? Paano yung arrangement ninyo? Paano yung working environment, no? Saan ka ba magtatrabaho? Sa hospital, sa kusina, sa opisina, sa bodega, no? Ayan. O paano meron kang shuttle, no? Or hatid sundo ka ng chauffeur? Ano ba? O bibigyan ka nila ng budget, no, para mag-dorm or for transpo allowance. Paano ka magre-report? Kanino ka magre-report? No? Ano yung gagawin mo? Job specification. No? Specification is more on the technical side. Ano yung mga skills na kailangan mo? So let's say accounting department. So most of the time, it's either you are a BSBA or BSA graduate. No? Pwede naman iba, kaso medyo, di ba, medyo awkward yung skills or hindi siya tugma. No? Education, ano ba tinapos mo? Yun yan, no? Or are you a CPA graduate? Are you a CPA license, no? Yan. Saan ka nag-aral? Ano yung mga experiences mo kung hindi ito yung first job mo, no? So, pag first job naman, pag entry level ka, saan ka nagtapos? Yan yung minsan malaking question. Pero pag may experience ka na like, they will look instead on your experiences. So, recruitment, no? Matagal tong lesson na to, no? Tong chapter 11. Meron akong one-on-one lesson. Inabot kami ng 2 hours. No? So, definition of recruitment. So, it is the process of getting and attracting. So, parang ano yan, no? Isa ligawan. Manliligaw ka, marami kang kalaban sa trabaho, no? So, on the other side of the spectrum, trabaho ka, marami nag-a-apply. Now, as a job applicant, kailangan mapasagot mo si HR, no? Na ikaw yung kukunin niya, no? And for the job, ang role mo naman is mahanap mo yung tamang tao, no? Na fit dun sa job position na yan. So, what are the goals? Siyempre, attract the qualified, no? So, ano yung definition ng qualified? Depende sa job description, no? Or sa job vacancy. Encourage the unqualified applicants to voluntarily withdraw from the application to make the review process easier. So, yan yung favorite na linya ng mga HR, no? We'll call you back after 2 weeks. No? So, pag kayo naman ay nag-apply na, hiring issues, no? Prior to recruitment, no? For the HR, it's hiring regular employees. Sino ba dapat sa mga empleyado dito sa opisina ang karapat-dapat na maging regular, no? Or number 2, ano bang i-hire ko? Part-time lang ba o full-time na empleyado, no? And then number 3, kaysa mamblema ako na mag-evaluate ng mga empleyado, hanap na lang headhunter or employment agency. Ay, nako, ano ba yung talk na yan? Okay. Advertise the job vacancy, no? So there are 2 kinds of recruitment, no? The internal and external recruitment. So internal, giving priority to applicants from current personnel of organization. So samples, no? Transfer ka from accounting department ka sa purchasing department. Or from let's say dito ka sa Philippines, na promote ka papunta doon sa, let's say, Hong Kong or New York, no? Branch. Recruiting former employees. So, yan yung mga tinatawag nilang prodigal son or prodigal daughter, no? Umalis ka, and then bumalik ka. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, bonus points. Sa akin, nangyari yan. No? I was gone from that company that I was working for 3 or 4 years. And then they called me back. Sabi, bumalik ka na rito. No? So, bumalik naman ako. But for a short time only. Yun nga, in conjunction to employee referrals. No? Nirecommend ulit ako nung dati kong boss, yung mutra ko. Balik ka rito. Baka gusto mong bumalik. Bumalik. Diba? External recruitment, no? Yan yung uso of job position to applicants from outside the company. Example, media sources, no? Facebook, meron si Facebook ngayon, no? Facebook, JobStreet, JobsTV, ano pa? Minsan may Twitter pa nga no? LinkedIn. So I suggest, no, for you students, rather than focus on your Facebook accounts, no? Kung LinkedIn na lang. Kasi it's much more professional. You learn something more, no? You can keep the Facebook naman if you want. But kung medyo seryoso yung mga posting mo, then more professional, no? Or you want to learn something, LinkedIn is a better alternative. No? Yeah. Job search company websites, no? Labor unions, meron din, no? Employment agency, etc. So, kahit na ABM strand tayo, no? Remember Newton's third law of motion. No? For every action, there is an equivalent reaction. So, pag nag-internal recruitment ka, what are the pros and cons? So, lahat ng ginagawa natin sa mundong ibabaw, there will always be advantages and disadvantages. No? Anything. Whether pumunta ka sa kaliwa or pumunta ka sa kanan, merong pros and cons. So, for the internal recruitment, the advantages, ito, no? It improves the employee morale. So, lalo na kung mga promotion or moving, no? So, parang pakiramdam nila, umaangat sila, umaasenso sila, mahal sila ng company, etc. No? Costless, of course. No? Wala ka ng mga bayad-bayad kay JobStreet, kay LinkedIn, no? Or job fair. No? May gastos yan eh. Tipid. No? Again, less training time due to familiarity of culture and systems of the organization. So, let's say, empleyado ka ng Pasig Catholic College, no? And you get promoted, no? Alam mo na yung culture, no? Alam mo na yung systems, alam mo na yung pasikot-sikot ng organisasyon, no? Yan. Protects business intelligence within the company, no? So, pag empleyado ka ng company, you should not speak ill of the company, no? You must protect the business. You are a safeguard, no? A devil's advocate. So, kahit na mayroong tinatagong baho ang isang organisasyon, then you should not divulge it, no? Pwede mo naman siya ikalat pero negative impact yan, no? Sabihin nila, ay, ganyan pala gagawin na, ganitong empleyado sa akin balang araw. Nilaglag niya yung company niya, no? Kinasuhan niya yung boss niya. And so on and so forth, no? Disadvantage, no? Nepotism. So, kala natin, no, yung mga politiko lang yung guilty sa pamana, so nepotismo. No. Even organizations, business organizations are guilty of that. No? Ipapasok ko si pamangkin ko sa company. No? Ko, pasok natin. Walang trabaho eh. No? O itong kabrad ko, kailangan ng trabaho. Yan. Loss of moral. No? Minsan, nakakawala rin ng moral. No? Parang counter, lang siya, imbis na improve, nawalan ka ng moral, no? Ano kaya? Sorry sa sounds, no? Okay. Political infighting for promotion, no? So, ang nangyayari dyan, no? Parang co-competition sila, no? Parang battle royale, no? Have you watched the movie Battle Royale? Parang ganun yung scenario nyo, no? Pero office setting lang. mas may plastikan kasi pag sa organization yung political infighting. Remember, sa organization, you must be strong. No? You must be tough. Eh, you must be a political animal. No? Kailangan marunong ka rin, sabi nga nila, marunong ka magsarswela. No? And last but not the least, no, it needs a carefully planned career management. No? So kailangan may konting tutok. No? Hindi ka pwede basta-basta na lang mag-internal recruitment. Kailangan pipiliin mo rin yung tamang tao for internal recruitment. So, external recruitment naman, no? Again, advantages and disadvantages. So, sa pros, it widens the pool of potential job candidates. So, maraming kalaban. So, kung try kayo mag-apply sa job street, minsan mapapansin nyo, ang kalaban mong applicant is 200, 150, 500, no? Pag inalat ka, mga 1,000 pa yan. No? Pero even yung mga 10 applicants, marami ka na rin kalaban. No? 10% chance ka na lang doon. So, it also brings new ideas and fresh perspectives from candidates. No? So, minsan kasi ang nangyayari sa isang organization kung laging internal recruitment, nagiging stale. No? Parang yun na lang eh. Yun yung alam natin eh. No? So, sabi nga nila, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Naka-record pa. Tingnan ko nga. Yeah, I'm recording. Okay. No? Kala ko hindi ako naka-record eh. Okay. Finds job candidates that may have knowledge of competitors' business. So, ito yun, no? Let's say nagtrabaho ka kay let's say tinanggap ka ni XYZ Hotel, no? Tapos galing ka sa, let's say, sa isang sikat na hotel, Manila Hotel, Shangri-La. So, alam mo yung mga kalakaran, no? Benchmarking, no? Or meron kang pwedeng i-apply, i-share na processes dun sa pinasukan mong company to help it go up. No? Disadvantage, yun lang. Ha? Possibility of selecting. So keyword dito is possibility. So sugal yan eh. No? Sugal kasi external. Of selecting someone who does not fit the job. No? So minsan 200 applicants, so hindi mo naman nababasa lahat yan. No? Minsan hindi yan eh. Pero even if you choose the right person, ang tanong, does he or she fit the job? No? Right person eh. Iba yung the person fits. The possibility, again, keyword possibility, of causing moral problems among existing employees conflict. So, nabanggit ko to kay, kay Ms. Guevara, no? One-on-one kami, na meron ako dating kasama, no? Galing siya sa sikat na isang construction firm, project firm. So, magaling naman siya. Magaling siya sa magaling. However, hindi siya familiar sa culture. No? So, malaking impact kasi yung culture. No? Hindi siya familiar sa culture, hindi siya familiar sa systems. Ano nangyari? No? Unang araw pa lang, halos lahat ng mga tao sa opisina galit na sa kanya. No? Marami siyang inapakan na tao. Not literally inapakan, no? But marami siyang natamahan. Hindi siya marunong. No? Of course, merong political infighting yan eh. Tapos bigla ka nang susulpot na parang bulalakaw, kakalabanin mo sila. No? Yan. So, conflict. So, within 2 months, no? Sayonara, nawala na siya kagad. So, hindi siya tumagal. Hindi nga kinaya. No? Longer adjustment or orientation period. So, syempre may adjustment period yan. Kahit na ikaw yung pinakamagaling, no? Sabihin na natin, kahit ikaw na yung pinakamagaling na accountant sa buong mundo, meron ka pa ring adjustment phase, no? Or tinatawag namin na honeymoon phase. No? Pag pumasok ka sa panibagong kumpanya. Pakiramdaman mo yan eh. Ano ba itong mga tao dito? Mababait ba to? Kamusta naman ang trabaho? Okay ba? Yan. Okay. The recruitment process. No? So una, mo muna yung applicants. No? conduct a background check, and then contact potential candidates. No? So yung mga hindi tinatawagan, so yan si call you back after 2 weeks. No? Pero kung contact yan, mabilis pa sa agad siya yan or text man lang. No? Pagtawag, mas sabihin na natin pogi points yan. No? So, innovations in recruitment. No? Minsan kahit ikaw na yung pinakamagaling, I think wala siya sa book. No? Itong part na to. Natin na po. So minsan kahit magaling ka maghanap ng mga empleyado, hindi ka maka-generate ng employees, no? Hindi mo pa rin mabuno yung vacancy. Datiwa po. Okay. Slideshow. Third slide, no? So, minsan yung HR, kailangan nila mag-isip ng outside the box. No? So, eto, luma na to, yung getting referrals from current employees, which is a form of internal recruitment. No? Pero, yung cash reward, no? So kasi parang lumalabas dyan headhunter. So parang in a way, so let's say, 10 tayo empleyado, merong vacancy, so magre-request yung HR. No? Kung meron kayong kakilala or pamangkin, kamag-anak, kaibigan, whatever, na let's say for junior accountant position, no? So magsasubmit kayo ng mga name ng tao, and then kung sino man yung nakatanggap na yun, no? Halimbawa si Mr. Menjola, no? Yung pamangkin niya ang natanggap ng HR, no? So siya yung nakakatanggap ng extrinsic reward, no? Intrinsic reward, no? Let's say 5,000. Oh, Mr. Ganito, yung pamangkin mo or inaanak mo or barkada mo, tatanggap namin, no? 5,000. Ano ba naman yung 5,000, no? Compared dun sa magbabayad ka kay Jobstreet ng let's say 20,000 or 30,000 sa pag-boost sa Facebook, no? It's much cheaper. No? Cheapest and most reliable method. Siya actually ng internal at external. Eh. Kasi internal, nag-recruit ka ng hindi, no? Naghanap ka lang ng mga ibang tao. No? Through your employees. No? And also, that's a good way. No? That's a good shot kasi kung yung mga empleyado ng mga kakilala nila, then sasabihin ng mga applicants, no? Kung si uncle or si papa ganito, no? Tumagal sa organization na to, then magandang chance ko rin. Ayan, ginagamit na nila to, no? Utilization of social media. No? So, LinkedIn ang pinakasikat ngayon, Jobstreet, may JobsDB, no? Pero kung medyo old school ka, meron pa rin naman yung mga classified ads. No? Twitter, no? So sa US, minsan nagre-recruit sila Twitter na lang. So some organizations turn to non-traditional sources to find dedicated employees. Example are ex-convicts. So, medyo bihira tong ex-convicts. No? Pero sa US, medyo uso na yan. Ang ex-convicts ginagamit madalas sa construction. No? Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, no? Even sa mahirap maghanap ng trabaho pag meron kang record. No? Lalo na kung record mo, let's say, is that you're a pedophile, no? Or you are a rapist. No? Tapos ilalagay ka sa opisina, rapist ka. No? Paano? Di ba? Or murderer, no? Sabihin ng boss mo, baka patayin ako niyan no, pag nagalit. No? Yan. No? So, minsan may mga company ngayon, tumatanggap na sila ng mga ex-convicts kasi ang dahilan nila is napagbayaran na yung kasalanan eh. No? In a way. No? Nasentensya na sila, they have sentence, so bakit ikukulong mo pa rin sila dun sa stigma na nakapatay sila or nagnakaw sila? So sa construction, no, yung mga tao ko sa job site, no, mga Sputnik, no, mga sige-sige gang, no, pagmamalakihan pa nila ako. Sabi nila, engineer, marami ako napatay na tao. No? And so what? No? And you must treat them with naman. And respect begets respect. No? Yung iba naman, mga sundalo, no? Mga junior soldiers. So, minsan, yung mga disgruntled na sundalo, mga private, tama ba? Private first class, no? So, they get this illusion with the military, no? So, meron mga work na kailangan ng magandang organization. And surprisingly, soldiers fit the organization very well. No? Guerrilla recruitment. No? So, ito yung guerrilla recruitment. Magbibigay ako sample. No? Yan. So, case study is I love rewards. No? So, I'm sure no most of you naman you have dated already. Uh, I'm not sure kung na-try ka na mag-speed dating. But sometimes you date people to get to know them. No? So, the hiring process is similar to the dating process as well. Pero hindi siya na-utilize. No? Hindi siya na-utilize ng mga company. And this is where I love rewards no, will come into play. No? So, I love rewards and they got rewarded for their love of rewards. So here. Ayan. Medyo mahaba lang. Okay. Kwento ko na lang. But you can read it later. Yung I love rewards, meron lang siyang 38 employees. So, in Wellesley, Massachusetts. It's near Boston. So, meron din siya sa Toronto. No? Dalawang branch. No? So, I think yung HR office niya is nasa Canada. So, they received 1,200 applications for just 9 job openings. So, isipin nyo, siyam lang yung bakante. Tapos, 1,200 ang nag-apply. Paano i-evaluate ng HR yun? So, let's say mag-evaluate ka ng isang resume for like 1 minute. So, kayo na, you do the math, no? Gaano katagal? Siguro 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, bago mo mabasa yung or ma-screen mo man lang yung 1,200 applications. Tapos, meron isa sa kanila sa HR, medyo maisip, no? So, their creative answer to the problem, a sort of speed dating screening process. No? So, ang ginawa nila, let's say nagpadala yung 1,200, nagpadala ang company, so si I Love Rewards, no? The I Love Rewards sent an email to all applicants thanking them for their interest. So, thank you for interest in applying to our company, blah, 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 blah. Blah, na pumunta dun sa open house sa Toronto. So, out of 1,200, automatic nag-disqualify na yung 800. Bakit? Kasi 400 lang yung nagpakita. So, nabuwasan na ng trabaho, 400 na lang. So, natanggal yung 2/3. That means 800 people self-selected out right up front. At the open house, the first floor was set up as an area where candidates and employees could mingle informally. So, dito, dating mo is a romantic date, no? Dito ang kausap mo is mga employees ng company, no? They keep tabs on you, no? Or minsan may halong HR workers diyan, no? Uh, ayun, nawala ako. Okay. So parang dito, chill ka muna sa baba. Job candidates and employees could mingle informally. Sa taas, nandun na yung speed dating, no? So each prospect has a one-on-one contact with the employees for 5 minutes. So 5 minutes per employee. So again, you do the math. 5 minutes per employee, 400. No? Only 400 applicants, okay. So upstairs was the speed dating area. No? People were asked, so imbis na typical speed dating event na, di ba, alam mo na yung mga tanong sa speed dating, ilan, are you available? When are we going to meet again? I like you, you're beautiful. Hindi, no? Ang ginagawa ng mga kausap mo doon is tinatanong kanila, no? Parang ini-interview kanya indirectly. Within a few minutes, no? Doon sa 5 minutes allotted, minsan alam ka, kilala ka na nila kagad. No? Anong klaseng applicant ka? They get a pretty good sense of whether the applicant will be a good fit with the culture. So typically, sasabihin nila, oh, anong pakiramdam no? Kung walang overtime pay. No? So ang culture nyo kunwari is walang overtime pay, OTY, no? So syempre, pag sinagot mo na, ayoko ng OTY, no? Then you're disqualified. No? Yeah. By the end of the evening, the team had narrowed the 400 applicants down to 68. So again, nabuwasan agad, natanggal kagad yung 332. Almost 75%, no? Tama ba? 75, well, 75% natanggal. The process worked so well, or 85%, I think, that I Love Rewards now uses the open house events. No? So wala pa naman ako naririnig na ganitong setup sa Pilipinas. No? Na instead na ano, mga traditional interview speed dating na application. No? So hindi mo na kailangan magpasa ng resume. No? When the company wanted to fill 20 new positions in the spring of 2010, it didn't ask for resumes. So, dalawang session na lang ang ginawa nila, and then within a few weeks, kompleto na yung requirements nila for the job vacancy. So, tips for job seekers. Kayo yan. Who knows? Within 5, 6 years, no? Kayo naman yung mag-a-apply. No? First, you must know the company. Hindi ka naman pwede pumasok sa company, let's say, Metrobank. No? Ano ba yung Metrobank pagdating mo sa opisina? No? Pagdating sa office ng Metrobank. Ano yung Metrobank? Anong ginagawa? Of course, you must have a general idea. You must do some research. Or let's say kung hindi naman ganun ka-familiar yung company. No? Nandiyan naman si Google eh. You must be resourceful. Ano ba tong company na to, XYZ Corporation? Anong ginagawa nito? Anong products and services ginagawa nito? Anong magiging role ko dito? Again, okay. Don't wait for the right opportunity, creative, no? So, dapat kumuha ka rin ng initiative mo, no? Parang dapat kung manliligaw ka, no? Syempre gagawa ka rin ng paraan. Hindi yung aasa ka na lang, no? Sana sagutin niya ako, pero hindi ka naman naliligaw, no? So, in short, just keep pursuing. No? Pag hindi ka natanggap ni Ayala Land, marami namang company dyan eh. No? Hindi lang naman yan ang nag-iisang company sa buong Pilipinas. Especially for ABM students, no? There are many businesses in the land. Hindi kayo maubusan. Hindi naman kayong tipong specific profession like law, no? Ano bang chance mo? It's either magtayo ka ng sarili mong law firm or mapasukan ka sa legal management. Or engineering, sa construction. Construction lang ang choice mo. Or renovation, diba? Bihira ka naman makakita ng attorney na engineer na nasa mga office work eh. Unless technical ginagawa pa rin nila. So sa business, opportunities are endless. And then, the business casual. No? So, for the men and women. No? Ito yung parang pinaka-default. No? Yung hindi masakit sa mata. No? Hindi masyadong super dressed down. No? Minsan may nakasabay ako, nag-apply siya, naka-t-shirt lang siya. No? Baka mamaya naka-t-shirt ka lang or naka-spaghetti ka lang. No? Meron ako nakasabay na gano'n. No? Naka-spaghetti or naka-tube. No? Worse, naka-tube. Tapos yung palda niya, no? Yun na yun. Konti na lang, kita na yung langit. Tapos sa lalaki naman, nakasabay ako, naka-t-shirt lang. Tapos, pa siya, no? There are two schools in the Philippines. No? Hindi dapat gano'n ang mga interview clothes mo. Ito yung mga normal. So, as young as you are, you must invest in at least a suit, no? So, meron namang tailor-made, no? Or yung off-the-rack lang. You don't need a tie for business casual outfits. No? Open collar is totally fine. So, yan yung mga guidelines. No? Chinos or slacks, no? Ito yung chino, no? Tinatawag. Or sa atin, tawag dito, khaki. Avoid jeans, no? So, slacks, much as possible. Yan. So, babae naman, ayan, neutral colored blouse, the blazer, no? Huwag kang maglalagay ng mga bright colors. Tailored dress pants, no? Neutral colors. Marami namang ganyan sa internet. You can search. Of course, arrive on time. No? Let's say ang application mo is nasa BGC or nasa Makati, then as much as possible, hindi yung darating ka sa opisina na yung parang naliligo ka sa pawis. No? Dahil nag-avul ka, nawala, naligaw ka, no? Or na-traffic ka. So, pag ang interview mo is 8:30, no, there's a protocol naman. Don't arrive way too early and don't arrive late. No? Yung on time, medyo frown upon pa siya. So, let's say 8:30 ang usapan nyo, at least mga 8 o'clock naman. Nandiyan ka. Huwag naman yung tipong 7 o'clock nandun ka na sa opisina, hindi pa nagbubukas yung office. Okay. So for the HR, no, refine the shortlist of 52% of talent acquisition leaders say that the most important part of the job is shortlisting. So ito medyo mahirap. Kasi hindi naman niya tayo kilala. Sino ka ba? Nagbe-base lang siya sa resume. So yung interview is a way for them to get to know us. Pero hindi pa rin eh. No? Hindi mo pa rin basta-basta makikilala yung interview, yung applicant on an interview. Ayan. So, selection. No? Selection. So, definition of selection, no? Wala siya sa book. No? Here, the employers assess the applicant's characteristics. So, kinikilatis ka na. No? So, parang nanliligaw ka na. No? Eh, pinakamagandang or pinakamadaling ma-identify na equivalent ng selection. So, yung nililigawan, pili ng manliligaw. Sino ba yung karapat-dapat na applicant? Characteristics in an attempt to determine the fit between the job and applicant characteristics. So, ano yung definition ng fit? Depende. No? For the organization, hindi naman yung gwapo yan or magaling mag-basketball. But rather, kung ano yung skills mo, ano yung background mo, which was previously mentioned. No? or fit ka ba sa culture ng isang organisasyon. Okay. Several selection devices are used for assessing applicant qualification. So yung pinaka-common is yun nga, ito, no? Application form, interview, employment tests, and assessment center. No? I-discuss natin yan. So the greater the skill requirements and work demands of an open position, the greater the number and variety of selection tools. No? So the more na mas extensive yung kailangan niya, no? Let's say marketing manager with 10 years experience, no? So pagalingan ng ano yan, paganta ng mga resume yan. Kung meron ka pang mga portfolio ng marketing plan mo sa other companies, much better. Elements of selection, the elements of seduction, no? So application form, no? Yan yung una na banggit kanina. So yung application form in a way is kind of like the resume, no? It is used to collect information applicants, education, previous job experience. Sir, paano kung wala? No? Bagong graduate, education muna. No? And other background characteristics. No? So, should not ask questions that will create an adverse impact on protected groups unless the questions are clearly related to home ownership. Bakit home ownership? Related to home ownership, no? Which is probably unrelated to job performance. No? So, let's say nag-apply ka as accountant, no? Biglang tanong sa'yo ng HR, nangungupahan ka ba o ikaw may-ari ng bahay, no? Medyo, sabihin na natin, medyo below the belt, no? But here in the Philippines, no, they can ask that question. But in other countries, medyo, ano siya, personal question siya, no? Interview and types, no? Okay. Balik muna ako sa application form, no? Yung application form kasi parang ano lang yan eh. 3 stages, no? 3 stages of hiring, no? So, minsan hindi ka nakakalusot, pero it doesn't mean that you are not deserving. Meron ako napanood na video, no? Chinese na lang. That they were HR managers were to evaluate, no? Their 3 resumes. 3 different resumes. So, yung isa, mataas ang pinag-aralan, kulang sa experience. No? PhD degree, magna cum laude, top notcher, no? Lahat na ng academic excellence sa kanya na. However, kulang siya sa work-related experience. No? Typically, sa sobrang talino niya, he or she loved the school so much na nagstay na siya sa eskwelahan. No? The other one is someone who did not finish their studies. However, they have extensive experience. So, baliktad naman, no? Nag-drop out ako, no? Pero marami akong alam. Marami akong skills. Marami akong knowledge, no? Marami akong napasukan. Marami akong natutunan. And then the other one is not spectacular, no? So, yes, nakagraduate siya. Yes, nakapagtrabaho siya, pero yung resume niya parang ordinary lang tingnan. Pwede mo pa sabihin na kulang pa siya sa experience based dun sa job. And at the end of the video, no, binanggit sa kanila kung sino yung mga in-evaluate nila. No? The first, if I'm not mistaken, was a politician. No? Politician of their country. No? So, dalawa lang naman yan. It's either tatlo or apat. China, Taiwan, or Singapore. No? Kasi Chinese. Eh. Second, yung kulang sa educational background pero maraming job experience is baker, no? So may-ari siya ng mga parang bake shops, no? All over the country. And third, last but not the least, the third person whose resume is not spectacular, no, is their own children, no? Yung anak nila mismo. So, yung application form lang yan eh, pero hindi siya talaga yung proper form. Maraming forms. Ayan. Okay. Interview and types. So, ito yung usual. Structured interviews, a set of standardized questions. So, medyo paulit-ulit na yan pag marami ka na na-applyan. Ilang taon ka na, saan ka nagtrabaho, ano nangyari, bakit ka nag-resign, bakit ka lumipat, bakit dito sa company na to. Ganun yun. Biographical interviews that ask about the person's previous life and work experiences. Hindi previous life life and work experiences. No? Ano ba nangyari sa'yo nung nandun ka sa college, no? Iba kasi yung previous life. No? Sa previous life experience. No? So, nung college ako, dito ako nag-aral. Tapos, pagka-graduate ko, nag-board exam ako. No? Tapos, dito ako namasukan. Lumipat ako. Yan. Behavioral interviews naman ask people to describe how they perform a certain task or handled a particular problem. No? So, let's say, nagkaroon ng problem ang company. Inaalam nila kung ano yung gagawin mo. Ano yung gagawin mo on that situation. Pero ano rin siya in conjunction din siya ng situational interviews. No? Yun nga, how to handle a hypothetical situation. No? So let's say, ang tanong sa'yo is, eto nangyari sa amin to. Yung boss namin, inoperahan siya, no? 1 month. 1 month walang boss, no? Wala. Kasi siya nakakaalam lahat eh. So, nagkaroon kami ng agreements dun sa Division of Labor. So, ginamit ko siyang pang-interview kasi wala yung supervisor ko noon. So, ako ang sinabihan ng HR to interview that person. So, the person that I interviewed is actually an honor student, no? At a very prestigious school. Di ko sasabihin ko na school yun. No? So, sabi ko, paano kung wala si boss? Anong mangyayari, no? Anong gagawin mo? Wala mag-uutos. Huh? And I was assuming na he was excellent grades, no? 1, 1.25, 1, 1.5 will answer a very good answer. No? Pero nagulat ako sa sagot niya. Di magre-relax lang ako. Wala si boss eh. No? Bahala na. Pagbalik na lang ng boss, saka ako ulit magtatrabaho. On the spot, tanggal siya. Hindi ko siya in-accept. No? Yeah. Kasi nakilala mo siya kagad eh. Ganun pala yung behavior niya pag wala yung amo. No? Na when the cat is away, the mouse will play. Anong oras na? Uy, mag-isang oras na. Okay. Haba. Interview number 2 is non-directive. Ito, na-experience ko to sa Ayala Land. No? So, bahala ka magkwento. It allows the applicant a great deal of freedom in determining the course of the conversation with the interview care not to influence the person's remarks. No? The interview asks broad, open-ended questions and permits the applicant to talk freely with minimal interruption. So, kung meron dyan mag-apply sa inyo balang araw sa Ayala Land, no? Shout out na lang kay Ayala Land. No? I'm not sure kung ganun pa rin ginagawa nilang implementation. Typically, you will sit down, talk with the HR. So, sabihin lang nila, tell us about yourself. You have 30 minutes. You know? Enjoy your 30 minutes to talk. Pakikinggan ka lang nila. No? Parang you're not talking to an HR hiring. No? But rather, you're talking to someone like a psychiatrist, no? Or psychologist. Though, of course, in a way, psychologist din sila, no? Organizational psychology. Yeah. So, non-directive interviews may bring to light information, attitudes, and behavioral characteristics that might be considered answering structured questions. So, syempre, pag structured kasi, yung kanina, no? Structured interviews, para kang isang tanong, isang sagot. No? Kumain ka na ba? Oo. Saan ka pupunta bukas? Dito ako pupunta. No? But here, non-directed, ikaw eh. Ikaw ang masusunod. Ikaw ang masusunod sa takbo ng interview. Pwede ka magkwento kung anong gusto mo ikwento. Pwede ka magkwento ng vision mo sa sarili mo within 10 years. Ano magiging goals mo. No? And you're free. You're free to do whatever you want to say. And nobody will stop. Ito yung isa sa mga medyo intense to. The panel interviews. No? The candidate meets with several interviewers who take turns asking questions. Some organizations also supplement traditional interviewing information with computer-based interviews. Sa masters, typically they do panel interviews. No? Even siguro sa mga big companies, I'm not sure if Ayala, kasi sa second level lang ako eh. So, pag third level, I guess you will do the panel interview. Some organizations also supplement traditional interviewing information with computer-based interviews. The interview typically requires the candidate to answer a series of multiple choices, questions tailored to the specific job. So parang scenario rin siya, no? Pero may choice ka, no? Option A, B, C, D, E, and blah, blah, blah. The answers are compared to an ideal profile, no? Or to profile developed on the basis of other candidates. So, minsan yung mga ganitong computer-based interviews, ibang company, they do the MBTI, no? If you have taken it up sa per dev, personal development, MBTI or the Enneagram, no? They try to know the person, the real person behind the person. No? Baka mamaya hindi rin niya alam na ganun siyang klaseng tao. Ayan. Okay. So sa interview, category, ito yung mga pwedeng itanong. At ito yung mga medyo inappropriate or even worse, illegal, Pero sa Pilipinas, no holds barred eh. So more on awkward lang yung question. So let's say national origin, what is the name of the applicant? No? So kung Juan de la Cruz or George Estrega niya, so medyo alam natin Pilipino. Pero paano kung yung name mo yung Ububwebwe o Nyetebwe? Yan, si Osas, no? So, mapapaisip ka, anong ancestry ka? No? That is not appropriate to us. No? Race, no? Nothing. No? Halimbawa, pangalan mo is Sherwin Uy. So, isipin mo Chinese. No? Tapos pagharap sa'yo, bakit Moreno ka? That's inappropriate. No? Disabilities. So, disabilities that might inhibit performing the job. No? You're not supposed to ask kung ano ba yung mga physical or mental defects nga unless may kinalaman sa trabaho. No? So, syempre, kung let's say kargador ka, so, syempre, medyo automatic yun. No? Pero kung sa office, medyo inappropriate na tanongin yun. Bakit ganun? Naman ako napapansing problema sa'yo, no? Hindi mo pala alam na meron siyang uh, lang, no? Yung mga physical defects nga. No? So, age. Tatanungin mo lang kung legal age siya. Medyo inappropriate tanungin na nangyari. Okay. Medyo inappropriate tanungin ilang taon ka na, no? Especially, sa ladies. Or kailan ka graduate, no? Kasi syempre, usually dyan ka mapipitag eh. Kung let's say, graduate ako ng college nung 1999. No? So, ma-assume na nung nag-i-interview, ay, matanda ka pa sa akin. No? Age, sabi nga nila, is not, age does not matter. Performance yung religion, no? Unless, no, if you are a Catholic school or you are, or talagang ini-instill nila yung values, no? Let's say, meron kasi mga companies na ang tinatanggap lang nila ay, let's say, Iglesia ni Cristo, no? Or Catholics only, no? Yan. Pero kung wala naman, normal business organization lang yan, no? You're not supposed to ask actually yung religion. Pero mga resume natin yan, usually meron. Religion, Catholic, religion, Protestant. No? So, sa Pilipinas, no holds barred talaga. Criminal record. No? If applicant is convicted of a crime, you can ask that. No? Pero you cannot ask, na-aresto ka na ba? No? Iba yung na-convict eh. Iba yung na-convict, iba yung na-aresto. So, marital family status. No? Again, eto hindi naman nasusunod masyado sa Pilipinas to. No? So, tinatanong nila, are you single or are you taken? No? Are you married pala? No? Tapos, minsan sa mga ladies, no, laging tinatanong to, ilan yung balak mo maging anak? No? Oo. O 30 ka na, bakit hindi ka pa nag-aasawa? Yung mga usual question. Medyo awkward, lalo na for the women. Kung sa lalaki nga, medyo awkward na. No? What more sa women? Education and experience. So, saan ka nag-aaral? No? Graduate, and then prior work experience. No? Yun nga, inappropriate or illegal to ask. No? Actually, ito, madalas tanungin to, what are your hobbies? No? Hindi naman siya bawal tanungin, pero inappropriate or awkward. Actually, ito yung mga questions na supposed to be you may or may not answer. Yan. And citizenship. Yan. Okay. Another reason why I want you to listen to this lesson. Top interview blunders. Marami. Marami. Okay. Okay, no? Yung mga blunders, so sa blunders, okay lang naman magkamali. Lahat naman tayo nagkakamali. Even nagkakamali ako sa mga sagot sa interview. Pero wag naman yung sobrang nakakahiya yung mga sagot natin. So I will give you an example of an interview blunder. Isang katutak. Aside from dun sa mga alam mo. Sure po. Okay. First slide. Ayan, no? Communication skills. So, kanina yung, balikan natin si non-directive interviews. So, yes, no holds barred. No? Pero kailangan, alam mo rin yung limitations. No? Imbis na nag-apply ka, tell us something about yourself, about your professional life. No? Ang nabanggit niya is her personal problems. And what's more awkward is, I think, nasabi niya na kabit siya, no? Or meron siyang problem sa love life niya, no? You're not supposed to tell that to the HR manager, no? Or do sa hiring officer ng HR. No? It's improper. Ito, a job seeker gestured, no, with his hand so much that he sat on them to stop it. So, no? Isipin nyo, no, habang nag-interview, no, yung aplikante ganyan ng ganyan. Kasi, ma'am, no? Yung focus ng HR, no, napupunta dito sa kamay, no, na makasalanan, no, rather than dun sa mata mo. It's a distraction in your communication skills. No? Pwede siguro pa isa-isa, I've done this, no? than that. Pero yung tipong every gumaganyan-ganyan yung kamay. Okay. Performance, no? So ito naman sobrang chill. No? The candidate showed up with a box of donuts, no? And ate them during the interview. No? Wow, amazing. So hopefully, no, walang gagawa na sa inyo ng ganito. No? Kasi nasabi ko na when asked by the hiring manager if he or she had any questions, the candidate replied by telling a joke. Okay, wala namang masama mag-joke, but on the right time. Right place, right time. Okay. The person was dancing during the interview. Siguro tinanong siya kung ano yung hobbies niya. So, pakiramdam niya masyado siya naging kampante. The person was dancing during the interview. He kept saying things like, I love life and oh yeah. Baka mamaya nag-8-8 pa siya habang nag-interview. So, those are inappropriate performance. Attitude blunders. No? Meron ba ba? Okay, so 5 dimensions. When asked where she saw him or herself, no? He or she pala. So may kulang. So yan yung usually favorite na tanong ng mga HR. No? Where do you see yourself, let's say, uh, Mr. Barantes, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Sige nga, sample. Ay, okay. Tignan ko kung sino natutulog dito. Ha, ha. Kaya si Mr. Nokum, subukan natin. No? Mr. Nokum, question ko lang, no? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hello? May mic pa to? Mr. Nokum?
Sir,
Yun. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Kunwari ako HR, no?
nag-aaral pa po.
Hindi, kunwari, ano ka na? Nag-apply ka ng trabaho sa akin. Where do you see yourself in 5 years with the company? So, kung halimbawa gusto mo maging accountant or maging kung ano man yun, no? Ano yung plan mo after 5 years upon graduate?
Di ko pa po alam.
Okay. So, ngayon, binibigyan ko na kayo ng guide. No? So, right now, tama naman yun, hindi ko pa alam. Marami pang pwede mangyari. Pero, apply na kayo ng trabaho, yan yung isa sa mga question na dapat meron kayo naka-ready natin. No? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So, bibigay lang ako ng sample na sagot lang. I, with my skills as a recently graduate CPA, which I am not, no? Kumari lang, would like to ascend to the ranks, no? And become a better contributor to the company. Hopefully, within 5 years, I'll become a supervisor at the very least. If not, reach the top, the mid-level management. Yun yung mga ganung sagot. Nag-intermission lang ako. So, eto, huwag niyo tutularan yung ganitong sagot niya. So, sagot niya, no, sa HR, no, paano ko malalaman? Di ba trabaho? How am I supposed to know? Isn't that your job? So, parang sinasabi mo, umaasa ka lang sa kanya din sa sagot. Dapat alam mo rin yung sagot. So, right now, yes, hindi natin alam. Marami pang pwede mangyari. No? Pero once you graduate, at least dapat meron kang vision. Kailangan within 5 years maging assistant vice president of operations, no? Or maging VP for marketing. Ito naman. So, sabi niya, he or she asked me to speed up the interview because he or she had a lunch date. So, habang ini-interview ka, let's say, ini-interview ko Mr. Bigla sabi sa akin ni Mr. Nomo, Sir, baka pwedeng yung pakibilisan yung interview kasi magde-date pa kami ng jowa ko eh. Kikita kami dyan sa may labas, sa may green belt. You are not supposed to do that. So, kung meron ka mang ka-date, then let that person wait. Kasalanan mo yan. You should not say that. Again, another, no, sa attitude. Meron akong uh, meron akong nakasabay na interview. Pero iba yung ina-applyan. So sabi sa kanya, no, congratulations, you may start to work within the next week. Within next week, you may start. Sabi niya, why will I start next week? Eh, sabi ko, next month pa ako magtatrabaho. Hindi ko ba naintindihan yung resume ko? Wow. Di ba? Attitude. Kilala ka sa attitude. Yung mga work natin, ano lang yun eh. Work, but not everyone can have the proper, the right attitude. Ito yung binabanggit ko, appearance. So meron din palang ganitong scenario. A candidate for a manager position showed up in a low-cut blouse that revealed a panther tattoo on her breast. So medyo awkward. Isipin mo, managerial position ang ina-applyan mo. No? Tapos darating ka doon na merong tattoo yung boobs mo ng panther. You should know well. You should know better to dress well. Kung yung ibang mga junior applicants alam ang proper business casual attire. Bakit ganun ang pananamit? The applicant chewed bubble gum and blew bubbles. Nag-interview, nagpapalobo siya ng bubble gum. Ito, cardinal sin to, no? He or she showed up in jeans and a t-shirt with dirty fingernails and looked like he or she just woke up. So parang papungas-bungas pa, baka meron pang muta. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya motivated sa interview. And then, honesty. Ito, pinakamalala siguro narinig ko. The job seeker has to use the hiring manager's phone. O, nanghirap siya ng company phone. Company. Ma'am, can I borrow your phone? Tapos, kumawag siya sa cellphone. Boss, hindi ako makakapasok. Diba? Awkward yun, nakita pa ng mag-hire sa'yo na company. And then, ito. After being complimented on his or her choice of college and the GPA that he or she achieved. So let's say, sinabi nga, nag-claim siya na, nag-aral ako sa Harvard University. Tapos ang GPA ko is 3.9 or almost 4. So tanggap na siya. The candidate replied, I'm glad that got your attention. Hindi naman talaga ako dyan pumasok. Baka sa Harvard Warehouse University lang siya pumasok. So, hopefully, no, ito isa sa mga important parts. So, employment test. Organizations use many types of employment tests to assess candidates on various factors. Very important for the job to be performed. So, bakit ka ba nag-administer ng employment test? Ito nasa libro na. To gauge intelligence, aptitude, interest, personality, tendency to comply with the rules. So, ito, importante sa kanila yan. Sumusunod ka ba o pasaway ka? Work ethics, and any purpose. Kahit ano, basta relevant to the job. So, I think wala sa book to. Types of employment tests. cognitive ability test. Measures an applicant's thinking, reasoning, verbal, and mathematical. Yung physical naman, so typically sa mga ano to, no? Yung mga gumagamit ng katawan as puhunan, no? Mga kargador, no? Mga checker, and even sa mga nursing, kailangan ng konting physical. Personality test. So sa office, medyo mas nagpe-prevail to. Assess such characteristics as openness to learning, agreeableness, responsibility, creativity, and emotional stability. So, online checks, no? Ang mga HR companies ngayon, no? Or even the companies, whether headhunter siya or HR company itself. No? Okay. One of the newest ways of gauging whether a candidate is right for the company is by seeing what the person has to say about him or herself on blogs and social networking sites. So, kung halimbawa nagpo-post kayo ng kung ano-ano man dyan sa mga Facebook nyo, no? Alam ko, marami sa inyo may Facebook dito. Ano naman yan, Instagram, Twitter, no? Parang awa nyo na, no? Burahin nyo na. No? Or gawin nyo na lang personal. So, let's say nag-post kayo ng mga, kunwari, yung company nyo is pro-LGBT, no? And then you've made a post criticizing LGBT groups, no? LGBTQIA, no? Plus, no? You criticize them, that is grounds for not hiring you. Kahit na ikaw yung pinakamagaling sa applicants. No? So, minsan pati yung mga picture, no? Iisipin natin, innocent pictures lang siya, no? Recent college graduates, no? Yan. So, 4 or 5 years from now, 6 years, recent college graduates looking for jobs have found doors closed to them because of risking, no? Or teasing. No? Halimbawa, pinicturean ka nilang laseng, no? Tapos nagpa-body shot ka doon sa mga video or what, no? Or gumagawa ka ng vivid comments about drinking, drug use, or sexual exploits. Especially kung conservative yung company na papasukan. So, isa to sa way, no? Not just the application form, no? To get to know the employees. Prospect employees. Companies today are not only interested in a candidate's educational and work qualifications. No? Kasing work, madali lang yan eh, work lang yan eh. But also in personal characteristics and values that fit with the organization's culture. So you will say, sir, di ba illegal yan? No? Iniimbestiga nila, parang sinisi-CI ka nila, chinecheck nila yung pinagkagawa mo sa social media. Eh ano ngayon kung nagsasayaw ubad dun sa Boracay, no? Or kinikriticize ko yung kung sino man yun, no? O ano man yun. Yes. No? However, you shared them. So, lalo na kung public, they can see it. Nakahide siya, no? Or hindi niya makikita, no? Or safest, hindi ka nalang mag-post. Yeah. So, ito, no? Online checks. Checkin nyo lang yung mga Facebook nyo, no? Kung naman pinagpo-post nyo dyan. Then, matagal pa. Okay. So, offer to hire the chosen applicant. Magbe-break tayo ng 3:30, no? So, don't worry. Offer to hire the chosen applicant, compensation, benefits, tenure. So, nalampasan mo na lahat ng obstacles, no? Even the online checks. So, ito naman yung pag-uusapan. Training. Definition and purpose of training. Orient the new employees in the workplace. Develop the skills and enhance teamwork in the job. Thus, training programs are designed according to the actual needs and requirements in the workplace. No? So yung training programs mo is naaakma siya dun sa work requirements. No? Ano ba yung pangangailangan ng company? No? So let's say you will be entering the company as an accountant, hindi ka naman nila bibigyan ng training program, no? How to be a fashion designer. No? And forms of training programs. So, employee orientation program, no? Ah, meron dito, benefit information, personal policies, no? Ito yung pinaka-importante, no? Daily routine, no? Company organization and operations, safety measures, no? And regulations and facilities tour. No? Sa mga technical backgrounds, ang tawag namin sa facilities tour is walkthrough, no? Or kung talagang literal na field ka, plant visit. Yan. So na iba, no? So, yan. Ay, sorry. Employee orientation, according to the book, no? So, hindi ka na masyado elaborate. Aims to introduce new employee to the job setting. No? So, papakilala ka nila. Typically, sasamahan ka pa ng HR niyan. The first part of the overall training program for employees. So it's also induction. Binibinyagan kanila. It's an induction to the organization, its culture, its systems, and its style, no, or leadership. It is a planned program of adjustment of a new hire. No? So yan yung tinatawag namin madalas na honeymoon phase, no? Or proving ground. No? Sa iba, proving ground. Pero sa akin, more on honeymoon phase. Kinikilala mo pa yung mga tao, no? New company, new job, new supervisor, new members, no? So, papakiramdaman mo. No? Parang yan yung pag nakulong ka, papasok ka sa kulungan, syempre, mabait ka muna, papakiramdaman mo muna yung mga kasama mo. No? Pero dito, hindi naman kulungan, but rather the organization itself. Company rules and regulations are also. So, minsan may one-on-one kayo ng HR or if not, the department head. No? Or i-orient ka ng mga kapwa mo ka-department. No? It also enables the employee to adjust smoothly to the new work setting and also start knowing the company culture. No? Ay, malapit na yata tayo. 10 slides pa. So, yun nga, no? Employee orientation. So, another feature is the refresher training. No? So, minsan baka may nakakalimutan ka, no? There's refresher training course. Modules din yan. No? So, wala kang kawala sa module. Whether you're a student or you're an employee. Enables the new employee to practice his or her skills within the new environment. So, typically, no, pag bago ka sa company, yung 3 months mo medyo lenient pa sila sa'yo. No? They will give you the chance muna. No? It's okay lang kung magkamali ka. No? Huwag lang naman yung beyond 3 months. No? After 3 months, pag nakita nilang okay ka, then, you know, congratulations. No? It is handled by both the HR manager and the supervisor. So sila yung dalawang mag-uusap lagi, no? O, kamusta na ba yung bagong empleyado na yan, no? Let's say si Miss Borbe. Kamusta na kaya to si Borbe? Magaling ba magtrabaho to o petiks-petiks lang, no? Lagi ba tong nagtatrabaho o baka mamaya pag nakatalikod yung boss, Mobile Legends lang, no? Yeah. Skills training and competency program, no? Focuses on enabling employees to learn the skills required, no? Form a job or to enhance competencies to achieve work performance. No? So, baka merong bagong skills na pwedeng matutunan, then you undergo the training program. for the continuous development of skills and talents of employees, especially in today's highly competitive environment. No? Yan. Benefits of skills and competency training. Competency based. So time management. No? User directed. Reduce cost. No? So in the long run, makakatipid ang company sa'yo. Allows personalization. Kung ano lang yung dapat mong matutunan, yun lang. No? Kung may gusto ko bang matutunan beyond that, bahala ka na. It's up to you. No? Use. Better retention. No? Mas madali siyang matutunan. No? And workplace integration. So, magagamit mo siya. Mapapakinabangan mo siya sa workplace. No? Ayan, favorite ng mga ng mga company, no? Team building programs, no? One of the most widely used group development activities in organizations. And it's a common approach to improving performance. No? Developing okay. Maingay lang, wait lang ha. Okay. Develops team spirit among employees. Okay. Across units and departments and promotes group camaraderie. Kainis na yan ha. And a greater sense of belongingness to the organization, no? So, yun yung ginagawa ng team building, no? Also to achieve unity and cooperation among organizational members, no? So, wala masyadong pressure dito, no? Kumbaga parang bonding time siya, no? This is also a time for employees to experience wellness or recreation together as an entire group. So, madalas yan sa mga team building, yung mga pa-swimming, no? Mga pa-Batangas, no? Beach, Baler, no? Yan. Pwede naman minsan sa hotel lang naman. Para makapag-relax-relax naman sila, know each other much better, no? Okay. So wala siya sa book, no? Nandito yung site. So Macy and Izumi. Of all organizational activities, one study found the team development to have the strongest effect, no? Compared to sa cost cutting, no? Versus financial measures for improving organizational performance. Konti na lang. Bear with me, no? Magbe-break tayo. Other methods of training and development, no? Yan. Coaching and mentoring. So ano ba pinagkaiba nito, no? Coaching is a process wherein an experienced person or coach provides professional advice to another person to improve the latter's work performance and focuses on the here and now rather than on the distant past or future. So, mga managers na nag-aaral ng MBA program, no, it can be considered as a form of coaching. Indirect form of coaching kasi they are enrolled in a curriculum, no? Pero meron yung talagang parang coach, no? Umaten sila ng mga seminar, no? Or continuous professional development or CPD, coach. So typically sa mga mga senior members, no? Mga medyo matataas ng position sa trabaho. Mentoring, no? Ito yung sa inyo, sa mga bagets. Mentoring is the act or process of wherein an experience, mali yung wherein the act or process wherein an experienced mentor guides and supports a newcomer or less experienced employee, or herein after known as the protege or mentee. No? So, So typically, no, yung boss mo parang siya yung tatay or nanay mo sa opisina, no. Ah, so makikisama ka, no. Siya yung magga-guide sa iyo, no. So uh, if I were you, no, if you're going to work in the near future, I will advise you to work on a medium-sized company or even better on a small company, no? Kasi pag big companies, medyo ano na lang kayo, parang robots na lang eh, paulit-ulit na lang yan eh, no? Yung tipong umaga, magpapaganda ka, uupo ka, magtatrabaho ka, no? Kakain ka, iidlip ka ng 1 hour, no? Power nap, 1 hour. Papaganda ka ulit, trabaho, paganda, uwi, no? Boring yun. Sa small kasi medyo marami kang matututunan, no? So, the first job that I have entered, no, magkakatabi lang kami, construction department, no? So, I was the project coordinator, no? So, all around ako, I coordinate. Kaya nga coordinator. I coordinate with the, tawag dito, with the sales department, lalo na kung malapit na ibenta yung mga units na under construction, no? I also coordinate with the accounting and the releasing, no? I coordinate with the purchasing kahit ako mismo nagpo-procurement to estimating. So lahat kami natututo, no? Tapos isang pinto lang ang layo sa amin. Nandun na yung purchasing ng gulay, no? Kasi may hotel din yung company. No? So marunong na rin kami ng mga konting elements ng HRM. Siya yung HRM per se, pero yung mga practices nila. Yan. So yung ano mo, yung magiging mentor mo, no? So hopefully I want you to have a good working, no? Not just professional but also a personal relationship with your mentor, no? So kami, no, yung mga professors namin nung masters, even up to now, no, we're still in constant communication. No? We treated them like our parents or sometimes, no, kung medyo hindi magkalayo edad namin, parang kapatid na rin, no, or barkada. No? Career development. Yan. Continuing process of developing. No? So medyo oxymoron yung definition. Term career planning and organization of program. I-improve nila yung career mo, no? Aakyat ka, you're going up the ladder. So, ano yung mga kailangan mong program? Kailangan mong mga skills or competency para ma-upgrade yung talents mo, no? Career development also encourages its personnel to stay with the company for a longer period. And then it helps in motivating its staff to work much better, no? In anticipation of a potential job promotion in the future if they perform well. Succession planning. So, ano na yan, no? Kumbaga, parang yan na yung pinaka-way mo na ipamana yung position mo, no? A strategy for identifying and developing future leaders at the organization. Not just at the top, but for major roles at all levels. So it helps the organization prepare for all contingencies by preparing high potential workers for advancement. So, parang pinapamana yung position. No? So nung bumalik ako doon sa company na isa, temporary lang ako in-install as project coordinator. So merong incoming. Tinuruan namin siya nung paano siya mag-handle ng trabaho. Kasi ako, dadalhin ako sa job site as the project in charge. No? So, kailangan maturuan mo yung papalit sa'yo. Yan. So, ito yung pinaka-equivalent. Giving the keys, no? Di giving the keys, ha? Giving the keys. Okay? 7 steps to succession planning, no? So, yan. Be proactive with the plan. No? So, kailangan meron kang plan succession plan, babalik tayo sa policy, no? Pinpoint potential candidates. So, sino ba yung mga karapat-dapat, no? Dapat meron ka ng category. Let them know, no? Baka mamaya nainip na sila, nilayasan ka naman, no? Ito. So wala siya sa book. Do a trial run of the succession plan. So minsan ginagawa to, no? Pag nagli-leave yung boss mo, no? Ibibigay sa iyo yung trabaho, kailangan gawin mo to ganitong araw, no? Ito mga kailangan mong tapusin na task, no? Ini-evaluate ka nila pa simple, no? And then integrate the succession plan into the hiring strategy. So magkakaroon ng movement, so kailangan banggitin mo kay HR, no? Kung ano yung mangyayari. Kasi siya yung maghahanap ng kapalit, no? Then think about the successor, no? So yun, ganun ginawa ko, no? Sobrang love ko yung successor ko, no? Inisip ko siya hanggang gabi, no? So, isipin mo yung kapakanan niya, no? Okay? Ano ba yung kaya? Ano ba yung capabilities ng successor, no? Gawin mo. Huwag yung, basta, say, ikaw na bahala dyan. Alis na ako. No? Bahala ka na. Alam na this. Hindi pwedeng ganun. No? And last, give the position. Ayan, no? So common mistakes. Ayan.